So I just wanted to give an update on my garden after, how long has it been? Almost 5 years now. Started really small in the back and took up all the grass and planted bit by bit, tried a bunch of various systems. So I'm just going to walk around the yard and show everyone what it looks like now. I started with just a handful of these poppy seeds, and these poppies, they multiply like crazy. And I've got black-eyed Susan in there. Not everything is flowered yet. The flowers come in cycles. The poppies come, and then the black-eyed Susans come, and then the rest of it. And then there's a hibiscus right there that's coming up. That's just the front of the house here. Some of the black-eyed Susans are coming up. And I've got the lantana there. Looks like there's a native sunflower or two coming up. And here's the really pretty poppies. I like these deep red ones. And bumblebees getting there. It's really pretty. More black-eyed Susans. These haven't flowered yet. I've got some iris here. Some blue iris, I think. Those black-eyed Susans come up all on the path. I'm just going to let them flower because I want more seeds so that it covers this area here. And I think this is rock rose, this pink one. And then wait till we see the backyard. Just got some oregano growing here. And I forget what this is called. But it grows in Texas pretty well. I've seen a few of those pop up here and there. So I love this. Just looking down this path here. Oh. All of this Indian blanket. I started with maybe 4 or 5 Indian blankets that I had just planted from seed in pots. And I had put it along the fence. These things take off everywhere. I gotta watch where I step. And then I've got these canna lilies. So the idea was to get canna lilies, Indian blanket, and then I've got comfrey. That's comfrey right there. And you get the really big bumblebees on that. Maybe we'll see one as we're walking. Yeah, just look at all this comfrey. I started with maybe 2 comfrey plants. It reseeds itself everywhere. Here I've got some pears and, grapefruit from the grocery store that I grew from seed. I've actually got a grapefruit tree right there. Starting. It did not like the winter though, it froze, but it did come back, so I'm hopeful that maybe I can grow them. Got some Turk's cap going up on the fence over there. This is a pomegranate. Here's a earth box with some mint. I don't want to put the mint in the ground because it spread all over the place. So I put it in these earth boxes. I just started this one from the compost in the compost pile. There's more flowers up against the house. This is mostly, all this stuff is mostly Thai basil. I put a couple Thai basils and they're all over the yard now. That's another one that just prolific. Got a native sunflower coming up there. And then over here, it's my Mexican plum tree. It's got a couple. Let's go up and take a look. It's got a couple plums starting right there. But this hasn't produced very much in the last couple of years. The first year I got maybe 6. And then it's just like 2 or 3 after that. So I don't know if it's unhappy with everything growing around it. It just hasn't really done much. If it doesn't produce good next year, I'm going to take it up. put something else there. So here's the start of the first bed. I've still got a snapdragon, which is technically for the cold weather. I've got onions all in this bed. Tomatoes. And this is more example of just, I don't have to plant much in my garden. I plant a few things. I start. Those Indian blankets take off. The Thai basil takes off. These tomatoes, I haven't planted tomatoes in 3 years. The cherry tomatoes, they just appear in the beds. As the birds get them, we get upset because the birds get them, but the birds are planting them for me, so it saves me some work. Some more Indian blanket made its way over here. These are some pepper plants coming up. And you see I've got this kind of onion here. This doesn't bulb, but they grow like crazy. And then I've got bulbing onions like this one in there as well. There's more tomato that volunteered. The onion seeds. The onions, they keep making these seed heads every year, but I don't think they are actually volunteering up. Here's a potato. This potato is up to my waist. It's really big. So hopefully there's some big plump potatoes under there. More peppers. And then scattered all in here. That's more just Thai basil coming up. I don't know what this one's called. I think it's native though. That's a Mexican marigold. You can substitute it for tarragon. We'll look over here. This is elderberry. Started with one really small elderberry, and evidently elderberry makes elderberry babies every year. Here's another one coming up. And then there's one on this side coming up in between the bricks. This is some more black-eyed Susan that it spread itself from the front yard all the way back here. I did not plant these. Not to my recollection, anyway. There's a fig tree. We can see all these figs starting on it. There's going to be a lot of figs this year. The birds love them, though, so you got to get them before the birds do. And you can see I've got this practice. I started this whole backyard with wood chips after I took out the grass. So what I like to do is, as I'm pruning the fig tree, for example, just throw down the leaves and the branches. You can see here it's a big mess of fig leaves that I pruned. These were all the shoots that came up from the ground. And you can see that underneath I've trimmed it all up so that they can get some air under there. I don't like it all bushy on the bottom. I want it to grow up high. Excuse my cough. And I've been sick for 6 months. I've had this lingering cough, and none of the doctors know what it is, and they can't get rid of it. Over here, this is some fairly new soil. I've taken it when I dug up over here. I put it in the bed here. So this is still not as friable as the rest, and you see it's more kind of gray than the other soil. It's got more limestone in it. But what I did here is I had some okra seeds that were a couple years old. I also had some Egyptian spinach that were 4 years old. And I just mixed them all up in a bucket, and I just threw it all over the place here, and it's all come up. I believe that's all okra. And then these are all going to be Egyptian spinach. And those make like little mini trees about 3 foot high if the rabbits don't get them. The rabbits love the Egyptian spinach. It's the first thing they'll go for. And I've got rabbits that come from under the fence all the time back here. But so far, I've been lucky that I've been kind of neglecting this as I was sick. All these weeds and grass came up. The rabbits are preferring the weeds and the grass right now, so I hope they continue. This is a grape. I'm not a fan. This hasn't made any grapes that are actually edible. It's been here about 3 years. And it'll make, let's see if I can find some. It'll make a little cluster of grapes that you can see are starting. I don't see any right now. But then as the summer comes in and it gets hot, they just fall off. And no grapes are actually produced. In this bed, I've got lettuce left over from the cold weather that I just didn't bother to pull up. I'm just going to collect seeds, although I don't need, what do I got here, like 20 lettuces. I only need a couple for the seeds. I just haven't cleaned it up. I'm going to pull up that lettuce and then plant something else on the edges, probably some kind of squash. And here you can see I've got a bunch of these in here. What was this called? Oh, this is the Armenian cucumber. You see how healthy everything is? Usually there was cucumber beetles on everyone's cucumbers in springtime. I haven't seen any cucumber beetles. And I haven't used any commercial products in this garden for 4 years. No spray, no fertilizer, no antifungal, nothing. Just make a compost pile, go grab leaves, put wood chips. And then I guess because of the diversity, I can't really tell you for sure, why do I not have any squash bugs, cucumber beetles, nothing attacking this yet? I assume it's because there's so much diversity, and I usually have, it's a little bit later in the morning, it's about 10 now, but early in the morning, there's just birds all in here, and I think they gobble up every single bug. Here's some roselle. You can make tea out of that. I've got a couple of those scattered throughout. This is more Armenian cucumber. I gotta be careful not to trip as I'm trying to look through the camera. Some more roselle. Armenian cucumber. This is a bigger roselle. It's been doing well. And then here's another volunteer tomato. It's kind of an awkward spot because I'm gonna have to put a trellis on the side between these two trellises. But that's okay. And then here's the blackberry that I've got trellised up. There's not many leaves on that this year. I'd wonder if I pruned this wrong. I tried to take off the old growth. I kind of make a T and just string the branches. We got some blackberries, but last year there was just bucket loads and there was a lot more leaves on here. So I don't know why I don't have as many leaving canes. Down on the bottom, like all of right there, that's what the whole thing looked like last year. So maybe I just need to prune it all the way back, let it grow back up. But no matter, I don't eat a lot of the blackberries. Usually the birds will get them before I can get them. As soon as they're ripe, they're gone. But I don't mind because the birds hanging out, they'll take care of the bugs. This is all my winter stuff that I didn't pull up. I got kale in there and broccoli in there, which grew pretty big, but I never did harvest it. And now it's got bugs, so. Of course, because it's 90 degrees out, you can't grow brassicas in the 90 degrees. People keep trying. I think I sprinkled more Egyptian spinach in here in the spaces. This is an apple. This is a Gaia apple, just from a grocery store apple. And sure, it's not going to grow up to be the same apple I got at the grocery store. But I'm going to take the gamble and I'm going to see what I get. Because you know what? It'd be super easy to take one of these branches off and just graft something on if I need to. And then I know apples need another apple of a different variety. Oh, there's Mr. Rabbit. I think we caught him. So this is a Fuji. It is not doing as good. Not at all. I don't think it's actually going to make it. And it's all crowded out. I need to pull all this broccoli up so it can breathe. So speaking of rabbits, I tried a new system. I got so frustrated with the rabbits eating all my beans last year. I wanted to make a bed that I could keep the rabbits out. So the first attempt was just take this hardware cloth and tie it up against the trellis. And that's a pain in the butt because you got to lean over and break your back to get to anything. So I came up with this, where I wanted to be able to just make a temporary fence and then take it down, and you can see that and put these rings. This is just thick gauge wire from Home Depot, and I can take these out. I can lift it up and take it out. So I can just remove, be a better example over here probably. It's kind of hard to hold the camera and manipulate the thing, but see, I just lift it over and then I can remove the whole side. But the problem is it's real hard to measure everything exactly 10 feet and then get these trellises straight up, straight across. So you get some overlap like this, and then you got to tuck it. But it's still, I could take this whole side off, and I'm going to later whenever I get in this garden. And this just sits on these loops of thick gauge wire. The other very labor intensive part, let's see if I can pick it up. I got the thinner gauge wire, so I made a loop and put this hardware cloth, and I had to make a lot of loops so that the hardware cloth stayed on as I'm picking this up and taking it out. So it works. I can remove the side in about 5 minutes, and I can get in there and I can start harvesting everything and put the side back. But the downfall is that this doesn't line up exactly, and then I've got to put like stones or bricks or something to kind of make it flush so that a rabbit doesn't get in between. Then the other downside is that this rusts. So this is only one season, and all these are going to rust. I'm going to have to do it all over again. And I'll be honest with you, making these loops took me about an hour per panel. So this was very labor intensive. And for it to only last one season and me have to make all those loops kind of sucks. So if you guys have ideas how I can kind of accomplish the same thing, maybe they sell some kind of, a hook or something that's made more that where it can hold this pole better than just these handmade loops, or any other ideas. But it does keep the rabbits out, so I was able to grow all this without rabbit interference, which made me quite happy. And I'm probably going to do the same thing on at least a couple of these other beds, because those rabbits, they drive me crazy. Every time I get something that I want to eat, the rabbits come in. So let's go in the corner here. I just want to kind of do a sweeping view of the whole yard, because I'm kind of amazed. I started so small in those earth boxes. Then I went and double dug all these beds. And then I originally just had them mounded. And now I've got these cinder blocks so that I can build fencing for the rabbits. But I'm amazed through this process. I would pray that God would teach me how to be successful in the garden. And I'd get some different ideas and I'd try them out. And they all work out so well. And don't have to buy anything, no fertilizer, no herbicide, no pesticide. Just pick the right plants and keep on adding compost. I've got vermicompost in the garage. I got a dozen worm bins, and I add that. And man, things have just taken off. You can see this whole backyard is just so prolific. I just love that view. I come out here and I'm just in awe. I'm getting to the other corner. I really love the way that these cannas look too up against the fence when they flower. It's going to flower a lot more. This is mid-May. Another month or so, this is all going to really just take off. And then the summer will come and things will start to struggle and the bugs will come out. This really shouldn't have even swept the camera over there. I have not weeded that in a long time, and I need to, because it's starting to climb my walls, and that's a mess. So that's my next project, is get back up over there and pull all that out by the air conditioner. And then I'm probably going to put more black-eyed Susans over there and some lemon balm. I think there's a lemon balm already over there. There it is. Let's see if we can zoom in. Yeah, right there. That's all lemon balm, and it's just kind of wild and out of control. But these prickly lettuce, that doesn't look good. We need to pull all that out, get rid of all that grass again, plant some flowers. So anywho, this is what my garden looks like now. I'm trying to hold the camera steady for a second. And I think I'll stop the video there. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you later.